When we talk about maximums and minimums, we have two different types of each to talk about. So sometimes we have something called a local maximum or a local minimum, which just means like relative to the points around it, it's the lowest. Or relative to the point to the left and the right of it, it's the highest. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the highest of the whole thing or that it's the lowest of the whole thing in the other case. So what we need to do is we need to identify, okay, do we have any local maximums? Now, a local maximum is, like we just said, it's just the highest point local to it. But then there's also something called a global maximum. And a global maximum is going to be what is that very highest point that this whole graph gets to. And, it's not going to be relative to the points right and left of it. Well, it might be, I guess, if it does loop back down. But in this case over here, we're heading up, maybe to infinity, especially if it had an arrow on it like it should have, right? So what would be our global maximum? And in this case, for this graph, our global maximum would approach infinity. But locally, you can see that we have a local maximum right there at the point -1, what is that, 3? I'd say so. So -1, 3 is going to be our local maximum. Now, we might have a local and a global minimum also. Let's take a look. We do have a very lowest area right here. It's heading down towards negative infinity. So for our global minimum, we would say that that is approaching negative infinity. But we have a dip in our graph. You can see it right at 1. See how our graph dips at x equals 1? Well, right here. So what would our point be? It would be the point 1, 0, and that would be our local minimum, meaning it goes up next to it, but at that very point, it's the lowest around it.